So hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel CodeML, and today's topic is functions in Python and how we can create user-defined functions and how we'll be executing those functions and like do the required functionality with it. We'll be seeing in today's video series. Okay, so what are functions first of all? So functions are those block of code which when they are called then only they will be executed first thing, and then we can even call them within a class or within a different function, like functions within functions we can call them as well, or even a single line also we can call them for their execution. Okay, so here so that's what I have written over here, the like how we can define a function. And the other thing is they may or may not, like they can have either if they want, like if as per our functionality or requirement, if there is a need of a parameter or passing of an argument or attribute, then we can pass them, or else the functions are also created with no values or parameters also passed, where we'll be simply writing a print statement inside it, and then we can call the function to execute them. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the definition for a function. Okay, so here how we are creating function, I've already showed you an examples of the functions before also in my series, but here we'll be totally discussing about creating functions and how different kind of functions we create normally in our day-to-day coding scenarios. So this is our first like piece of code where we are creating a simple function with no values, no arguments passed. Here within, see, if I talk about the whole syntax, def is the first keyword which will be writing for defining a function. After that, our user defined function name, and then the parenthesis. Two these parentheses will be there inside inside this parenthesis. Either we can write parameters also, and if we are just simply not using any parameters and only just printing the statements, like we can let it the parenthesis be empty. Okay, then here in the second line of the function we are just printing that okay, hello all, this is my first function. Okay, I'll be doing a shift enter, and this is the method, this is the way to call a function. Okay, way or a procedure to call a function. Okay, so here I am calling a function like this. We are just written, we have just written the same name by which we have declared the and created a function and an empty parenthesis, and we'll be just doing a shift enter, and you can see hello all, this is my first function has been printed. Okay, just for a different, now you can see. Okay, it has not taken the special character. Let's check, 1 minute. Once again, let's check. Okay, there must be some issue with my, I'm just restarting my kernel, and I will just do a restart. 1 minute. Okay, now I hope it must work fine. Okay, if I, yeah, now you can see along with the function Rahul also got printed. Earlier it was not printing, it was having some, sometimes there are some issues where Python behaves not, Jupyter behaves a little bit in an abnormal way. So I hope, 1 minute, I will save it once again. I will try to show. Okay, still there are some issues with the Jupyter notebook. Okay, let's see. Now you can see the exact statement what I printed. It came in the output with 4 exclamation marks. Okay, so I was just trying to show you that okay, how what is the proper procedure to call a function. Okay, now next thing, that okay, if we are to print the company's ID as per the user's first name and last name entered. Suppose like see in our working scenarios we do have a company mail ID also. So here based on first name last name, sometimes there is a logic required to assign a mail ID to that specific person. To suppose a new recruit has been onboarded and we are yet to assign the person's new email ID. So what we'll be doing and storing it in his records. So what we'll be doing is we can write just simply a function, and with the help of his first name and last name, we can simply create a user defined function which will automatically create email ID for it just by accepting two parameters, that is his or her first name and last name. So this is the function for it, create email ID. I have written a user defined function name. It is accepting two attributes, that is f name is first name and l name is last name. I have just written a print statement over here, and here in the this is the escape sequence, that is this slash n, that is backslash n will create a space and it will print the statement onto a new line. Okay, so print then slash n to print the statement on a new line, we use slash n. And then concatenation operator f name then dot is a c, basically company mail id. Like it's in a very, now the scenarios have been changed for the user id and the email id, but earlier like it mostly used to be the first name dot last name at the rate the company's id.com, the company's name.com. Okay, so here I have written my name and I will try to create the email id for it. So you can see rahul.tiwari@microsoft.com. Suppose if I want to write like this 25, so it would create rahul.tiwari25@microsoft.com. This is my uh, company ID which got created using the create email ID user defined function. It just took the values f name and last name and it gave the value of our company assigned mail ID. Okay, so I hope with this function also you would be clear. Firstly, the function I showed you was without any parameters and attributes, and the second example I have shown you where the function is accepting two parameters. Okay, now coming on to our next function. This is a function where I've written some logic also, that it will return we have written a function over here where it is accepting two even numbers, and it will be returning. Firstly, if like in if I show you line by line, so here I have this is the def keyword, name of the function, two numbers which will be accepted as a parameter, and this is the condition where we are checking that okay, those numbers which we have given, the user has given, whether it is an even function or not. So for even function, the remainder should be 0 when it is divided by 2. So here that is a modulo operator which is doing, it is checking for a remainder, and if the remainder is equal to 0, then this condition will be true, and both, that is for both the numbers a and b, both should be even numbers. That's why we have written logic for checking for b also and for a also. And then we are returning the minimum of between a and b. Why? Because our first condition was return the lesser of the two given numbers if both numbers are even. But what is in else part? In else part, but return the greater number if one or both the numbers are odd. If suppose this condition is not true, then what would be, it will come to the else block, and in else block what it is written is return max of a comma b. So this is the condition which satisfies in the else statement. Min and max are two inbuilt methods or functions of Python. Okay, so max will give the maximum value, min will give the minimum value as per their name. So I have here given two odd numbers, and I will do a shift enter, and you can see 7. If suppose I have written one odd number, one even number, then also it will go to else block and it will give the greater of the two. Okay. But if suppose if I write over here 8, so it should give me 4. Why? Because for two both even numbers, it will give us the lesser number of it. So you can see it gave the result 4. So I hope with this like user defined function with the if else block, that is the conditional checking, this example you would be also clear with. Coming on to next example. So here like we can also assign a default value when we are giving and when we are passing the parameter inside a, when we're creating a function, when we're creating a user defined function, inside the parenthesis we can give a default value. This is for when we are not getting any input from the user, although a function is accepting one parameter or two parameters, but the user is not giving any value, then in that case the function will be executed but it will give the default value in the result set. Okay, so I am then I am printing the statement that okay, I am from, this is the string output, like it is a string output, and here is the same country variable which it is coming from here. So country value will be taken it from here, okay, in the default case. Or else when we are calling the function, we can pass it explicitly like this: my function US, my function India. Suppose if we are giving the same value which is in default, one time we are checking, we are not giving any value, so here also it will take a default case, and this is also some other value. So I will show you line by line. 1 minute. Okay, my func, I am from US. Now I will do this. I have given the value which is default also, and which is also written explicitly. So just to check that okay, whether it shows some, throws some error or not. No, it is not throwing error. Now coming on to next example, see, this is the example where we are not passing any parameter when we are calling our function, but we have already assigned a value uh, which a function is expecting. So here we have assigned a value country equals to India already. Here we are not passing. So always it will take a default value. So now what it will print? See, in the third line it printed I am from India. That is the default value. Okay. Last, I am from UK. So all these four statements are now printed accordingly. So I hope you are also clear with this default value assignment concept. Coming on to passing a list in an argument. Suppose if we assign a list inside a parameter, like in the parenthesis of a function, and we are iterating through it using the for loop, then also like this can be performed using the user defined function, and it will be completely acceptable. So here, see, firstly for I hope you are function, you are clear with this part. I have a user defined name for our function. We have passed this parameter, and we are supposing that this is a list. Now what we are doing in the for loop, this is the incremental operator, and we are iterating one by one for the values inside this list, and we are printing it accordingly line by line. Okay, so this is our fruits list, and we have just passed this list variable to our my function statement. So if you write over here, now you can see in different line it has printed the values of that list accordingly. Okay, so this was why uh, like example for passing a list and iterating through a list with the help of user defined function. Coming on that how we can return a value from a function just by simply a keyword return instead of print. If we just need to return a result set, then we can use a return keyword and it will work accordingly like this. So here if you can see, like I am passing my func to this value x, and it is returning what, 9 into the product of 9. Suppose if we are writing like this, we have printed 90, so it will multiply by 9, that is x will be, x value will be 90. 9 into 90, 810. So this is printed. So I hope with this function also you are clear how we can return a value from a user defined function. So now I will come at the last scenario, that is an interview question which was asked, that okay, we have to write a function which takes a two-word string. Okay, that means two separate words would be there in the string, and it should return true. The statement should return true if both the words are beginning with the same letter. That is, if suppose Rahul rose, so that means R and R. If both the words, that is in the two word, the first letter of both the words are, first alphabet of both the words are same, then it should return true or else false. So okay, what I have done, how I have done, I implemented using the split function. Split function, what it does is, when we are passing multiple words in a string, so with the help of a space or whatever, see, this is in the split function, in the parenthesis, what kind of separator or what kind of a split method symbol you will be giving, like dot or comma, it will be splitting it accordingly using that identification. Okay, it will be identifying that character, and based on that it will split. Or else if you are not giving any, it is an empty parenthesis, then it will automatically take a space, and based on space it will split. and it will give the result set in the form of a list data type. Okay, like this. Okay, so I have suppose I've just randomly given my function's name as animal crackers, and I have passed the string data type which will be given by our user. Okay, so suppose I have written over here hello world, I am passing, and this is a two word string. Okay, I am passing into my function animal crackers. Okay, and I will be just firstly showing you that what is the value of text dot split first of all. So if you do a text dot split, you will see that okay, hello world are now first of all stored in a list, and hello and world are now two separate values stored in the list. Okay, so now I will comment this part and I will uncomment these two. So this is, so I hope you are clear with this, that text dot split what it did, it will return this list to, and it will assign this list to our variable word list. And what we are returning, we are returning like it will return will also check for true and false condition. If, see, this is equal, this is an equals operator, right? So here word list is 0 and 0, what it will show, I can show you this also over here. Suppose 1 minute, and I am printing this for you. Okay, see what it shows. It showed word list, this first square bracket with 0 will pick up the word that is hello, and this second square bracket 0, from the first word that is 0, it will pick the first position that is 0th index h. Similarly, in the case of this word list 1 also, what it will take, it will take the first index position, that is one index position is word 0 and 1. So it will take 1, and for that it will take the first index is 0 over here. So it will take that, and then it will match, it is comparing that whether h is equal to w, it is not, hence it will return false. Okay, so for this reason I showed you this line example. Okay, so here it is showing false. If suppose I would have written over here hello how, then it would return true. So I hope you are clear with this interview question, and if you have some doubts regarding to any of this above piece of code, please do mention in my comments, and I will be happy to resolve them. Okay, and please hit like, share, and subscribe my channel, and share it across your links also. Thank you.